Hi everybody, so this is Bomber Crew, available for PC, PlayStation and the Xbox, which is the gameplay you're seeing here. Now, I've never bought a game before to prove how bad it could be. I've never thought about buying a game because I thought it was incredibly inappropriate, the take that the developers had made on the subject. I'd never thought about really buying a game to prove that it was an insult to the soldiers, sailors, airmen and civilians who died during the period in which a game was based. But these were the reasons why I purchased Bomber Crew when it dropped to a few pounds in the Xbox store a few days ago. I remember seeing the trailers for Bomber Crew when it came out back in, I think it was 2017, and the cartoony, childish way that it approached the idea of a World War II bomber simulator. And I remember recoiling at it, thinking, "Oh my God, there's ways to approach an idea and a concept, and this isn't it. This is definitely not it." I mean, if you think about it, and you look at the figures on Wikipedia, in British RAF Bomber Command alone, 55,000 aircrew were killed out of 125,000 that were actually in Bomber Command as aircrew. That's a 44% death rate. And if you add in all those that were injured, captured, etc., only about 27 bomber crew out of every 100 would get to survive their tours relatively unscathed. But I guess, undoubtedly they'd be terribly mentally scarred by what they'd experienced. And then on the ground during World War II, over 350,000 German civilians died due to the Allied strategic bombing campaign, and about 70,000 British civilians died to the German bombing campaign, And when you consider those figures for a moment, you can see how anyone with a little World War II knowledge would see Bomber Crew, the game, with the way that it looked and sounded, as it could be an insult to these people. How could you approach such a serious and horrific subject, so light-heartedly? So my idea in buying Bomber Crew would be to record some footage and then do like a hatchet piece video on how bad and how disrespectful it was, quoting those death figures and encouraging players to, if you're interested in World War II games, play something a little bit more serious, like Hell Let Loose or Postscriptum. However, after playing Bomber Crew for a couple of hours, my view has totally reversed. Because although this game uses a cartoon look and a cartoon sound, and you can even have women on your bomber crew, underneath this childish veneer is a rock-hard bomber management simulator with permadeath for the airmen you recruit, train and level up. So in Bomber Crew, you start off with this basic Lancaster, and you've got a rookie crew. And by completing missions, you can make your aircraft and crew better at doing jobs. But to do that, you've got to complete the mission and bring the aircraft home and keep the crew alive. And that's all about managing a lot of different systems on the bomber. So you'll be given a mission, or you'll choose a mission, and then you'll tell your pilot, take off, pull the gear up, and then select an altitude. Then the navigator will chip in and say, head over here, so you have to select the heading. And then on the way, you'll probably get intercepted by fighters, so you've got to tell the gunners, fire at these fighters. And then if they start to run out of ammo, they've got to go and get some more ammo, or you've got to get one of your other crew members to bring them ammo. And then if it's a long mission, you might be telling your engineer, to lean out the fuel mixture, or maybe one of the fuel tanks would get damaged and you'll have to transfer fuel from one tank to another. Then one of the crew will get injured, so you'll have to get a first aid kit to them, or you've got to tell them to go and have a rest in the crew bed. And then all while this is happening, so it's all kind of happening real time, the navigator will be saying, "No, you need to be going over there." And then he'll be saying, "No, we're coming up on the bomb target now, so you'll have to get your bomb aimer, who's normally, start off, who's in the front turret. He'll have to go and sit in the bomb aimer's seat, open up the bomb bay doors, and then, select the bombs and arm those and get ready for the bombing run." And then also at the same time, as your aircraft is getting hit or just generally wearing out, your aircraft will start to develop faults. So you'd have to tell one of your crew to go and fix them, or maybe a few at the same time. So the hydraulic systems will fail, so you won't be able to open the bomb bay doors or lower the landing gear. And then if the electrics fail, you'll lose your radar. But while you've got a member of your crew fixing these different systems, they can't be doing their main job. So if your navigator is fixing the hydraulics, the pilot's shouting out, going, "Where are we going? You know, I need to know where we're going." You know, if your gunner is off fixing the electrics, then fighters will come in and you won't be able to take out the fighters. So all of this is really exciting, very stressful, and really hard as well. You can slow time down a little bit, but you can't stop it. And before you know what's happening, you've got 2 engines on fire, you've got a downed crewman, you've got no hydraulics, and you've got all these Messerschmitts trying to shoot you down. And then you're deciding, okay, are we going to carry on to the target? Are we going to try and take on this target of opportunity, or this reconnaissance opportunity that we've got over here? Or are we going to abort the mission and fly home and see if we can get this bird down? Are we going to bail out? Are we going to do an emergency dive to put the fires out that are on the engine? Are we going to send a crew member out on the wing to try and, you know, fix the engine out there? Because remember, you know, if any of the crew die, you've got to get fresh recruits. And as you level the crew up, they become much more powerful. So you know your gunner will then be, you can make him so he's a really good first aider as well, or maybe he can move around faster. You can give them better equipment, so, you know, so that you can, instead of having to go along at low altitude, you can go up to high altitude to avoid the flak and avoid the fighters. And it really is, it's really, really good, really good. I've enjoyed it immensely. I mean, my initial tips after only playing for a couple of hours would be to say, you know, the tutorial missions are way too short, and you need to get lots and lots of practice with the controls about moving the crew around, especially. So selecting the crew and then sending them to the different points on the aircraft, because when you're in the middle of a firefight or a dogfight in the sky, lots of things are going off. You know, the game is overloading you with tasks, and you don't want to be struggling with, oh, how do I select players again? How do I move them again? So at every opportunity you can, in the quiet times when the plane's flying along, move your aircraft around, get them to stand up and go and get some ammo and wander around and do that sort of thing. So I was really wrong about Bomber Crew. It might look like a cartoon game that doesn't treat its subject with the respect it deserves, when in fact it's a really hard simulator, and I think it will enthrall World War II enthusiasts and hopefully encourage those who don't know anything about the World War II bombing campaign to do a little bit of research and learn a little bit about it. So my initial first impressions of Bomber Crew, oh, amazing. Go into the store of your respective platform now, whether it be PC, PlayStation, Xbox or Switch, and if it's on sale or it's only a few bucks, get it. Honestly, it really is that much fun. Anyway, that's enough for me. I'll leave you with the gameplay. If you've got any questions or comments, put them down below, and I will of course see you again soon.
Delete of my line of